subparagraph 2, shall establish a grant program at the department to support a cybersecurity research and development, and b. demonstration and commercialization of cybersecurity technology. 2. Requirements. A. Applicability. Notwithstanding Section 317 of the Homeland Security Act of 2002, 6 U.S.C. 195C, in carrying out a research, development, demonstration, or commercial application program or activity that is authorized under this section, the Secretary shall require cost sharing in accordance with this paragraph. B. Research and development. I. In general, except as provided in Clause 2, the Secretary shall require not less than 50% of the cost of a research, development, demonstration, or commercial application program or activity described in subparagraph A, to be provided by a non-federal source. 2. Reduction. The Secretary may reduce or eliminate, on a case-by-case basis, the percentage requirement specified in Clause I, if the Secretary determines that such reduction or elimination is necessary and appropriate. C. Merit review. In carrying out a research, development, demonstration, or commercial application program or activity that is authorized under this section, awards shall be made only after an impartial review of the scientific and technical merit of the proposals for such awards has been carried out by or for the Department. D. Review processes. In carrying out a review under subparagraph C, the Secretary may use merit review processes developed under Section 302(14) of the Homeland Security Act of 2002, 6 U.S.C. 182(14). 3. Eligible applicants. An applicant is eligible to receive a grant under this subsection if a. the project of such applicant I. addresses a requirement in the area of cybersecurity research or cybersecurity technology, as determined by the Secretary, and 2. is a joint venture between IAA, a for-profit business entity, academic institution, national laboratory, or non-profit entity in the United States, and BB, a for-profit business entity, academic institution, or non-profit entity in Israel, or 2. AA, the federal government, and BB, the government of Israel, and B. neither such applicant nor the project of such applicant pose a counterintelligence threat, as determined by the Director of National Intelligence. 4. Applications. To be eligible to receive a grant under this subsection, an applicant shall submit to the Secretary an application for such grant in accordance with procedures established by the Secretary, in consultation with the advisory board established under paragraph 5. 5. Advisory Board. A. Establishment. The Secretary shall establish an advisory board to I. monitor the method by which grants are awarded under this subsection, and 2. provide to the Secretary periodic performance reviews of actions taken to carry out this subsection. B. Composition. The advisory board established under subparagraph A shall be composed of 3 members, to be appointed by the Secretary, of whom I. 1 shall be a representative of the federal government, 2. one shall be selected from a list of nominees provided by the United States-Israel Binational Science Foundation, and 3. One shall be selected from a list of nominees provided by the United States-Israel Binational Industrial Research and Development Foundation. 6. Contributed funds, notwithstanding Section 3302 of Title 31, United States Code, the Secretary may, only to the extent provided in advance in Appropriations Acts, accept or retain funds contributed by any person, government entity, or organization for purposes of carrying out this subsection. Such funds shall be available, subject to appropriation, without fiscal year limitation. 7. Reports. A. Grant recipients, not later than 180 days after the date of completion of a project for which a grant is provided under this subsection, the grant recipient shall submit to the Secretary a report that contains I. A description of how the grant funds were used by the recipient, and 2. An evaluation of the level of success of each project funded by the grant. B. Secretary. Not later than 1 year after the date of the enactment of this Act and annually thereafter until the grant program established under this subsection terminates, the Secretary shall submit to the Committees on Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs and Foreign Relations of the Senate and the Committees on Homeland Security and Foreign Affairs of the House of Representatives a report on grants awarded and projects completed under such program. 8. Classification. Grants shall be awarded under this subsection only for projects that are considered to be unclassified by both the United States and Israel. B. Authorization of Appropriations. There is authorized to be appropriated to carry out this section not less than $6 million for each of fiscal years 2022 through 2026. C. Definitions. In this section, 1. The term cybersecurity research means research, including social science research, into ways to identify, protect against, detect, respond to, and recover from cybersecurity threats. 2. The term cybersecurity technology means technology intended to identify, protect against, detect, respond to, and recover from cybersecurity threats. 3. The term cybersecurity threat has the meaning given such term in Section 102 of the Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act of 2015, 6 U.S.C. 1501, enacted as Title I of the Cybersecurity Act of 2015, Division N of the Consolidated Appropriations Act, 2016. Public Law 114 to 113. 4. The term Department means the Department of Homeland Security. 5. The term National Laboratory has the meaning given such term in Section 2 of the Energy Policy Act of 2005, 42 U.S.C. 15801, and 6. The term Secretary means the Secretary of Homeland Security. Sec. 1552. Authority for National Cyber Director to accept details on non-reimbursable basis. Section 1752, E, of the William M. Mac. Thornberry National Defense Authorization Act for fiscal year 2021. Public Law 116-283, is amended, 1. By redesignating paragraphs 1 through 8 as subparagraphs A through H, respectively, and indenting such subparagraphs 2 to the right. 2. In the matter preceding subparagraph A, as redesignated by paragraph 1, by striking the Director may and inserting the following. 1. In general. The Director may. 3. In paragraph 1a, as redesignated by paragraph 2, by redesignating subparagraphs C through H as subparagraphs D through I, respectively, and B, by inserting after subparagraph B the following new subparagraph C. Except officers or employees of the United States or members of the armed forces on a detail from an element of the intelligence community, as such term is defined in Section 3(4) of the National Security Act of 1947, 50 U.S.C. 3003, 4, or from another element of the federal government on a non-reimbursable basis, as jointly agreed to by the heads of the receiving and detailing elements, for a period not to exceed 3 years, and 4. By adding at the end the following new paragraph 2. Rules of construction regarding details. Nothing in paragraph 1c may be construed as imposing any limitation on any other authority for reimbursable or non-reimbursable details. A non-reimbursable detail made pursuant to such paragraph shall not be considered an augmentation of the appropriations of the receiving element of the Office of the National Cyber Director. Title 16 Space Activities, Strategic Programs, and Intelligence Matters. Subtitle A Space Activities. Sector 1601. National Security Space Launch Program. Sector 1602. Redesignation of Space Force Acquisition Council. Modifications relating to Assistant Secretary of the Air Force for Space Acquisition and Integration. Sector 1603. Delegation of authorities to Space Development Agency. Sector 1604. Extension and modification of Council on Oversight of the Department of Defense Positioning, Navigation, and Timing Enterprise. Sector 1605. Improvements to Tactically Responsive Space Launch Program. Sector 1606. Clarification of domestic services and capabilities in leveraging commercial satellite remote sensing. Sector 1607. Programs of record of Space Force and commercial capabilities. Sector 1608. Extension and modification of certifications regarding Integrated Tactical Warning and Attack Assessment Mission of the Air Force. Sector 1609. Classification review of programs of the Space Force. Sector 1610. Report on range of the future initiative of the Space Force. Sector 1611. Space Policy Review. Sector 1612. Annual Briefing on Threats to Space Operations. Sector 1613. National Security Council briefing on potential